Crafting on the Plains. My name is Jacinta, and this is my channel where I talk mostly about cross stitch, but also sometimes about knitting, sewing, quilting, and any other crafty endeavors that I happen to get up to. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are a new viewer, welcome, and if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. I want to say again a massive thank you to my subscribers. I am just blown away by how many of you there are now. So again, just thank you so much for those of you that keep coming back and subscribing. I have a lot of stuff this episode, and I'm going to try to fit it all in. I'm hoping I get it all in one session, but I do have some meetings later today that I have to do, so I may have to kind of chop this up and record it like a little bit at a time, but I'm hoping I don't have to do that. So I have mostly cross stitch. I have a little bit of sewing. We'll see if I get to that. If I don't have time, I'll just show up my next video. But I've got fully finishes, I've got a finish, I've got new starts, I've got a giveaway winner to announce, I've got all kinds of stuff. So let's get into it. Oh, before I got too far, I did want to say a huge thank you to Sally from Flossie Sews and Grows. I was just watching her video and then heard my own name on it, and that was pretty amazing. So thank you so much. I am so flattered. She had seen my video where I did my own version, my own conversion of Barbara Anna's Light. I'll try to post a picture of that if I can do so, but if I don't, it's on my Instagram. But I changed a lot of the colors, and she liked my color changes and then used that as a jumping off point to make some of her own color changes. And so I'm super excited to see how hers turns out, and I'm very honored that she was inspired by me. So thank you so much, Sally. And if you came over from Sally's channel, welcome. Okay, so I'm going to start off with some fully finished objects. So this past weekend, my daughter, who's 5, woke up and said, I want to have a craft day. And so I said, of course, obviously we can have a craft day. And so that Sunday afternoon, we just worked on crafts, and she made stuff with clay and painted and did different things. And I used it as an opportunity to pull out some of my fully finishing supplies and get some fully finished done. So I'm going to show you my 2 mill hills first. So this is the first one. This is the first mill hill I ever did. And this is I think it's just called Pink Flower. And it's from their, it's the fully beaded collection. So it's all beads. It's beautiful. I don't even know if it's showing up because it's so sparkly. And then I just finished it with some pink felt. I had been very nervous about finishing these, and I wanted to buy all of these special supplies and different things like that. And then I just finally said, you know what? I'm just going to use what I have and just get these finished. And that's what I did with all the finishes, the fully finished I'm going to show you today. I just said, I'm just going to use what I have and get some stuff finished, because it is better to be finished than just sitting in a stack, at least for me. So I did this. This is my first mill hill I've ever finished. It's my first time I've ever used perforated paper. I will say I was probably more conservative on cutting this thing out than I needed to be, but I was very nervous about cutting it out. So I cut it out, and then I used the Aleene's Tacky Glue Fabric Fusion, and I just painted it on the back, a good thick layer, and then I stuck on this felt. And then this is just some twine that I got from some craft store, I don't know which one, and I kind of doubled it over and twisted some more together to make it thicker, and just made a little ornament. And this is just regular felt, and I was a little bit worried about the sturdiness of just it being some thin cardstock perforated paper and felt, but honestly, especially with this one, with all the beads, and once you add the glue and everything, it's quite sturdy. I mean, I wouldn't try to tear it up or anything, but if you just have it hanging somewhere as an ornament, it'll be fine. At least from what I can tell right now. And I made this for my daughter, and so it just hangs in her room. So I have to put it back in her room before she comes home from school. Okay. My next mill hill is not actually fully finished. I still need to glue the magnet on the back. But this is my pretzel. And this one is I stitched with my friend Bree. We started it at a retreat together. And this one is both actual floss cross stitches and beads. And I just decided to turn mine into the magnet. So like I said, I need to glue my magnet on the back. But I did the same thing, just backed it with some felt. I will say this one especially took a lot of glue because the stitches, the fibers of the stitches absorb a lot of the glue. So I think next time I do one of these, I might actually paint a layer of glue and then kind of let that dry a little bit and then do another layer of glue to actually stick the felt on, because I feel like between the felt and the floss, it absorbed a lot of the glue, and so when I actually went to go stick it to the felt, it wasn't, I had to add more glue in order to actually get it to stick. So that's just my little tip for Mill Hills. And as you're gonna see, I've kind of become obsessed with Mill Hills, and I've started another one, so spoiler alert. Okay, the next two fully finishes that I did are they're not Mill Hills, they're regular ones. So the first one I did was this one, and this is from Cherry Hill Stitchery. I think it's called Red, White, and Bloom. And there we are. So I stitched this last summer, and I just could not decide how to finish it. And I have this, I'm not sure if I got this little box from Dollar Tree or Michael's, but it's just a little balsa wood box. It actually had like a hanging thing that I cut off, and then it does have this hanger as well. But I just painted it this kind of, I mixed up like vanilla and navy craft paint and just sort of painted it, and then I stuck it in here. So it's like a shadow box basically. And because it is a shadow box, I have been like putting in the bottom like some rocks and shells and things as like a way to display it. I didn't bring them in because they just fall out. They're not glued in, but that's what I'm doing with it right now. And I just really wanted to, I stitched this and finished it right before the 4th of July last year. So then I thought, well, I'll just wait till next year to finish it. And I didn't want to let another 4th of July pass without having this fully finished. So here we go. And I'm really happy with it. I think last year was just overthinking it. I couldn't decide what I wanted to do. And I just thought, you know what fits in here? Paint it blue, stick it in. And this isn't even glued. I just put this on some mat board, and then it fits so tightly, I just shoved it in there. Worked out. All right, then my next fully finish is this piece. And this I stitched with my friend, Handmade by Sarah W., and her sister, who, her sister does not have a YouTube, but she has an Instagram, so I'll try to link them both. But they hosted this stitch along for Christmas, and it was the Stitchy Sister Sal, and I finished this back in, I think, December, very end of December, and I wasn't sure how I wanted to finish it, and I got this piece. This is like, it originally came from Hobby Lobby, but I got it at Dollar Tree, or not at Dollar Tree, at Goodwill for like $1, and it's like a cutting board paddle thing, and I just put it on here and added some mini pom-pom trim. I thought it was cute because this fabric is, you can't get anywhere. It's from a dyer that doesn't sell anymore, unfortunately, and it's so beautiful that I really, really wanted to keep as much of the fabric as possible. So I was originally going to cut it, or not cut it, but mat it a lot closer to here, to the actual stitching, and then like do like another layer of like a fabric border or something like that. But I just decided, you know what, let's keep as much of this beautiful fabric, because I can't get any more, and highlight the beautiful linen that it's on. So there we go. And I did do a full conversion of this, which is on my Instagram. On my highlights, I have conversions, and this is like probably the first one that's on there. So super happy with it, and this is going to be put away until Christmas, but I'm happy it's done. So yeah, I don't know. I've gotten the fully finishing bug, and I'm motivated, and I'm really hoping that I have time to sit down and do another fully finishing session. I have quite a few pieces that need to be framed that I actually have frames for. I just have not taken the time to lace them and actually put them in the frame. So I really want to get some actual fully finishes accomplished because this was very motivating. Okay, so I'm going to talk. Oh, I have a finish. I feel like I've been really productive the last couple weeks, which is weird because I don't feel like I've had that much stitching time, but I think I just made the most of it, I guess. So this is my finish, and I'm so excited. It's real comfort, and it's beautiful, and I love it. So this is stitched on a 32 count linen that I don't believe is available anymore. That seems to be a theme today. But it is from Modern Volk Embroidery. It's real comfort, and I made a couple changes. So number one, this chart originally has an alphabet that's charted below those houses, and I omitted the alphabet because it wouldn't fit on my fabric, and I don't really like stitching alphabets, and I didn't think the piece needed it. And it actually has like a double border, but this border just goes around this part, and then the double border would have gone around this piece as well as the alphabet, and so I just did a single border. And then the other change I made is that I recharted, and I've seen a lot of people do this. This was not my brainchild. Recharted it to be her date of birth, or year of birth and year of death, instead of the dates that they have on there. Because I think it was some like anniversary of her death or something like that was what was originally charted. So that's what I did. And I used a variegated DMC, which I don't have on me at the moment, but it is a DMC variegated. I get asked every time. It's a DMC variegated. It's like the purple blue one. If you want to know what it is, please drop me a comment and I'm happy to tell you. Or it's on, I think, a lot of my Instagram posts and recent videos, but I'm happy to just tell you in the comments. But yeah, so it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. And I actually restitched last night after I finished up everything. When I had stitched the part that says "ah" there, I accidentally stitched it a stitch too low. I think actually what it is I stitched is nothing a stitch too high, and I forgot to account for it. So the last thing I did was actually pull out the words "ah" there and then restitch them so that they lined up with the rest of the sentence. So this could have been done sooner if I hadn't made that mistake, but it's so beautiful and I'm so happy. I don't know what I'm going to do with this thing. I don't know what it's going to grow up to be. Part of me just wants to frame it and have it here in like my bedroom, but I would have to custom frame it because it's obviously an odd size. I believe that Nicola A Bumble Stitches, she did the same piece. She's the one that inspired me to do this piece this way. She did this piece and left off the alphabet at the bottom. And I think that she said that she was going to make hers into like a pillow. Obviously, it wouldn't be a small like dough bowl pillow. It's a big pillow. So it'd be like a pillow that would go on your bed or something. So I might think about that. I might see if I can find some coordinating pretty fabric and do like a border and then make it into a pillowcase or something. I don't know. Not sure. But it's beautiful. If you have finishing suggestions for this, let me know. Y'all give the best advice. Very, very happy about that. And I finished this in just over a year. And I only worked on it when I was traveling up until the last, I would say, like month or two. And then I just decided it's getting close to finish. I'm going to pull it out and just work on it as part of just regular stitching. So, was not actually that big of a project, especially if you take off the alphabet. Okay. I'm going to tell you about my new starts. So I have 2 new starts, and they're both kits because I'm going through a kit moment. I'm really into them. So let me show you what I have got. So my first start is a stitch that I'm doing. It's a sal that I am hosting along with Caroline's Stitch Corner. And we started, the hashtag is Dimensions Fairy Sal. So you can stitch any Dimensions Fairy. But the one we are starting is, I'm trying to pull it out because I had major glare last time. The Wind Moon Fairy by Dimensions. It's my ring light. But here it is. She is beautiful. And I started this. So the last time I recorded, I told you that I had a busy weekend ahead of me. That is because the day after I recorded, we got up super early and we drove down to the Texas Gulf Coast. So we stayed for the weekend and a couple days in Port Aransas, Texas. And which is, it's kind of by Corpus Christi, if that tells you anything, I don't know. But yeah, so we were on the Gulf Coast and it was beautiful. We left right before the tropical storms started coming in. So yeah, that was interesting, but we had a wonderful time. It was amazing. Just lounged on the beach and collected seashells and just had the best time. But I started this project on vacation, which I don't know, was kind of, I hadn't even looked. I had not opened the package. I'd never opened the package. I had never done a Dimensions before. I threw the entire kit into my bag and drove 9 hours down to Texas. So I was not prepared for what I was in for when I opened this package. So I kind of wish that I had prepped it before I went down out of town, but I just didn't have time. Ended up being fine. But yeah, it was, I'll tell you, I don't know that stitching Dimensions Golds is for the faint of heart. You should absolutely do it if you want to, but this chart is a bit confusing to read. I am doing it off the paper. I know that Caroline has put it into Markup RXP, and that is really helping her. I did not do that, and so we'll see how it goes. I'm making it work. It's not terrible, but I was definitely a little bit overwhelmed when I first looked at it. The more that I stitch on it, the more accustomed I am to it. I also want to say, I shouted her out in my last video, but Katie of Red Stitchery, I followed her instructions on, starting your mill heel kit. So I put them in braids and everything that she said to do. And I think if I had not watched her video talking about how she does her Dimensions kits, I would have been so lost. So I'm so thankful for her for sharing that. She is an amazing kit stitcher, so definitely check her out if you are interested in learning more about stitching kits. But yeah, I was not prepared. There's some blends, and so I'm using a little, just one of these I got from Amazon, and that way I can keep my blends. I will probably start moving some of my other colors over to either this or floss drops. This also came with these, I guess there's some threads that there's more than would fit on the floss card. So you get this giant deal of threads, and they're just kind of tied together with the number on it. Overwhelming. Okay. I was not prepared. So what I'm doing with these is, as I need them, I just actually cut the little tag, and I'm putting it, I taped it onto a floss drop, so that way it has all of the original information, and then that way I can still have it. So some stuff is going to be starting to get moved off of the floss cards that are provided as I stitch more, but for right now I'm able to more or less stitch off of those. Alright, so I'm sure you want to actually see my progress on this thing. So this is my start. I left it in the hoop because I've been stitching. This has been kind of the only thing that I want to stitch on. I'm not gonna lie. As much as I was overwhelmed and a little bit stressed out when I first started it, I am now completely obsessed, and I love it, and I've added a dozen more Dimensions pattern kits into my wish list, and yeah, I love it. I love it so much. So I did a center start because I am using the original fabric, which is a super crunchy Aida. Don't love the feel of stitching on this fabric, but I do have to say my stitches look great and it's incredibly easy to count. And I feel like this is one where I would have wanted to do it on Aida because it is full coverage. So I don't have to worry about the Aida like showing through. And it has made it a lot easier for me to count over different areas if I need to like count across and skip, you know, any areas or whatever. So this is where I am. I am basically, again, I started in the center. So if that helps you, I'm doing her arm and like, I'm basically stitching, where is it? Like this part here, her arm and all of that. And I did start the little moon that she's sitting on. That's the moon, so that's her arm. Her bouquet will be here. I'm thinking I'm gonna wait to do her bouquet because there's a lot of confetti. And my goal, and then, I mean, this is, look, it's like the floss, the way that it's designed, it's like there's, like, she has this gauzy wrap on that's coming over her arm, and it looks so dimensional. I don't know. I love it. And I haven't even added back stitching. So I want to back stitch as I go. That's how I do everything. I actually love back stitching. I love projects with lots of back stitching, which is maybe a little bit weird. But one of the reasons that I don't find back stitching usually that overwhelming is I always do it as I go. And so my goal is to back stitch like this area here. And so I want to get as much done as I can in a set area and then go ahead and do some back stitching and then move on. So that's where I am. This is a lot of different colors, but I'm so happy with how it is turning out. And then my next new start is, I'm going to put all of this back in its container or else I will lose it. My next new start is a Mill Hill kit, and this is because, one, I've been having so much fun stitching Mill Hills, and I've been wanting to stitch another Mill Hill, and then Beck Stitches Everything started a Mountain out of a Mill Hill Sal, and so I thought, well, now I have to start another Mill Hill, of course. So the one I started, this is the only other one I have. I may have ordered a couple more Mill Hills because I love them so much. This is, it's from the I Love Charmed Ornaments collection, and it's called I Love Coffee. And this is where I am. So it stitches up very, very quickly. That's what I love about these. And even in like poor lighting, it's super easy to see. It's really fun. You get to do beads, you get to do all kinds of stuff, but it's in a small, contained environment. And now that I've kind of figured out how to finish them, and I'm less scared about that, I'm really, really excited to do some more of these. So this is where I am. And yeah, so excited. I anticipate having this done, I don't know. I don't want to say for sure in the next few days because then I'll get obsessed with something else and I won't work on it. But right now it is a very, very enjoyable thing, and it's really easy to pick up and put down, and that's really nice. So now my whips. I do not have a ton of whips because I think I've been mostly working on finishing up and starting things, but here we are. So this is my first one I'm going to show you. This one I'm so excited about. I'm excited about all my projects right now, which is a good feeling. Well, I say that. We're going to talk about one. But this one is my dragon piece for the Year of the Dragon Stitch Along. I have shown it to you so many times, but I still love it. And this is, according to Pattern Keeper, almost 70% done. So it is like 69 point something, I don't know, 8 something percent. So if I had maybe just got a couple more stitches in, I would have been officially at 70%. So I've almost finished up with the first wing, and then I need to do the other wing, which is larger because it's kind of in front. The 70%-ish that I have done is not counting backstitch. This is a very backstitch heavy pattern. There's a lot of backstitch in this, and that is honestly what drew me to it, because I have told you already, kind of love backstitch. So really excited. You can see some of the backstitch I've already done in the tail. I haven't backstitched as much as I would normally as I go on this one. I don't know if that sentence made sense. I haven't done as much backstitch as I've gone. I don't know. Either way, you know what I'm saying? Because Pattern Keeper does not show backstitch. So when I want to do backstitching, I actually have to pull up a different PDF, like just a standalone PDF, and then do my backstitching off of that, which is a little bit annoying, because when I want to stitch on it, I just want to grab Pattern Keeper, grab my stuff, and go. So that's why I have not done as much backstitching as I go, as I normally would on this piece. But I'm still very happy with it. It's beautiful. Super excited. And yeah, so I'm planning on spending a lot of my July on Jolly July, Christmas in July stitching, but I do want to get this done like this summer, I think would be my ideal. So, and it's beautiful. It's only a handful of colors, and so it's really fun. And this is being stitched, I think I'm really bad about telling you my fabrics. This is being stitched on a 36 count Zweigart Winter Moon, which is one of my favorite fabrics, and I'm stitching it 2/2. All right. My next piece I'm going to show you is, I'm going to show you my other whip that I'm excited about, and then I'm going to talk to you about my whip that I'm struggling with a little bit. So this was my Bridgerton start, dropping things, and this is Blue Flower, Hedgehog, and Hyacinth. And I did my own conversion for this one because I did not get the Cottage Garden thread pack, sadly. So yeah, but I did my own conversion. So I've gotten the entire stalk of the hyacinth done, and then I have a few more flowers to fill in. So there's that, and then I have the hedgehogs, which I'm going to do last. So this is actually a pretty quick stitch. It's a small stitch. It's not, yeah, it's a pretty quick stitch. I did finish the last episode of season 3 of Bridgerton this week, so now I just have to figure out a way to work this into like my regular stitching rotation, such as it is. But I really love it. I'm hoping I can just sit down and spend a couple days on it here and there and get it done quickly. But again, like I said, July is going to be a lot of Christmas stitching, so I may or may not actually work on this in July. We'll see. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll do some this weekend. See how far I get. I don't know. But I really like it. It's really beautiful. It is on a 36 count oyster shell by Fox and Rabbit. I've had my eye on this fabric for a long time, and I finally picked it up, and I love it. It's like a purplish gray. I don't know if it's coming across well, but it is gorgeous. I love this fabric. I want to stitch everything on it. It's like a neutral, but also still purple. I mean, what's better than that? So, and I will tell you that for my flosses currently, I will post a full conversion of this on my Instagram once I'm officially done. But I'm using Sea Anemone from Color and Cotton for the flowers. And then I used for the stem, I used Castle Garden also from Color and Cotton. So in case you're wanting to stitch this, and like me, you sadly did not get the Cottage Garden threads, maybe that'll be a starting place for you. All right, last whip is in the hoop because I was working on it this morning because I started to feel guilty about it, and I felt like I should put some stitches in on it. I have been working on it, but this project has turned into a little bit more frustrating than I had hoped. So it is Stars by Plum Street Samplers, and I had thought this project was going to be like a really quick stitch. I don't know, but I just thought it was going to be like the little animal stacks or something. I thought it was smaller than it was. I thought it was simpler than it was. And also the pattern is a little bit difficult to read. I talked about this on my a couple episodes back when I started this, it's a lot more complicated of a pattern, and the actual like charting is a little bit more difficult to read than I have experienced in Plum Street before. So I was disappointed because I love Plum Street. But here we are. This is my progress, and I feel like it looks like I've done nothing. So this I finished this part of the roof, which took me ages because that's two different colors. It's stripes. The whole roof is striped, and it's an amazing effect. I have to say, it's a beautiful effect. Part of me wishes I had just stitched it in one color, in one variegated color, but we are where we are. It looked so good, I didn't want to stop. So, and then I filled in this flag. I did all the white in the bunting. I started the little bald eagle, and now I've actually started on the actual like house, barn, whatever this is, on the like main part of it. And I am hoping that now that I have this roof finished, that it will start to go quicker and I'll feel better about it. I think what happened was I just had it in my head that this was going to be like this easy, fun, quick-ish stitch, and I'd get like a bunch of progress on it really fast, and I could get it done. I started it like Memorial Day weekend. I thought I could get it done by 4th of July, and it turned out to be a bit more frustrating than I thought. And then I just lost motivation because I was annoyed, and that's just never good. So here we are. I am going to probably try to work on it on at least like on 4th of July. And I'm going to work on it a little bit, at least through Labor Day. I don't know that it's going to be a focus piece at any of those points because, again, I'm looking at other plans for July. But I do want to keep plugging away at it as a summer project, and then it'll just have to be pulled out next year. And hopefully by next year I'll feel happier about it. Maybe I can get some of the parts done that are a little bit frustrating, and then next year I can just pick it up and just go. So we'll see, but yeah. So there it is. I do love it. Like every time I pull it out, I think, oh, that's so pretty. But I don't know. I don't know if you, please tell me I'm not the only person who sometimes you just have in your head how a project is going to go. And then when it doesn't go that way, it just like kind of ruins your motivation a little bit. So I don't know. So there we are. This needle minder is from Nessa's Needle Minders. It is beautiful. And I am stitching this on 36 count, Picture This Plus sand. And I'm doing 2/2, which is another thing where I think I probably should have done 1/2. I love the coverage. I am a 36 count 2/2 stitcher, which I know is a little bit weird, but I love the thick, beautiful coverage. But it does make the stitches a little bit difficult to squeeze in sometimes. And I think that's another part of the process that I'm maybe not loving as much. So I think I just need to remember that Picture This Plus is tight, and that I should probably just stitch 1/1 on 36 count on Picture This Plus, because it is a lot more like 40. So I'm loving the results. Like I have no complaints about how this is looking. I think it looks amazing. It's just the actual process of stitching it is not what I thought it would be, sadly. So, okay. It's not even a tale of woe. It's just a tale of complaining. But there we are. Okay, I think I have enough time to show you my sewing. So I'm going to do that. Before I do my sewing, I'm going to do my giveaway winner. And I think that I'm coming up on my 1 year. So we're going to have another giveaway coming up soon for my 1 year. I'm still like gathering stuff and putting things together for it. So last episode, as a thank you, as like a celebration for hitting 1,000 subscribers, I did a giveaway of an Etsy gift card. I said it was a $20 Etsy gift card. Someone very helpfully told me that Etsy, for some reason, you have to do a minimum of $25. That's weird, but sure. So thank you for telling me that. I'm glad. So it'll be $25 because obviously I'm going to actually give the gift card, right? I asked you guys to give me suggestions on PDF patterns, and y'all came through. I've been so enabled. I have found so many new things, added so many new things to my wish list, and yes, definitely been enabled, and I appreciate it so much. I love being enabled, so yes. Okay, so the comment, I put it through the random comment picker right before this video, and the winning comment is from Pieced Pineapple. So Pieced Pineapple, I actually don't know that she has or whoever this individual is, has a full name on here. So Pieced Pineapple Studio, if that is you, my email is down below, and also my Instagram is down below. So either DM me on Instagram or send me an email. And because this is a digital prize, all you need to do is give me your email, and then I will figure out how to send it through to you, and then you can do some shopping. So thank you so much for everybody that commented and played along and subscribed. I really appreciate y'all. It's so amazing. I can't believe that there's over 1,000 of you that want to hear about my crafts. So yes, I do have plans, but I'm going to talk about, I think you'll just be surprised. Like I said, I'm going to be doing a lot of Christmas in July. I have a couple Christmas projects that really need some love, and I'm hoping to start one new Christmas project as well as maybe something else. So you'll see that in my next video. And then also please give me a follow over on Instagram, because I do post a lot more about like my new starts as I'm doing things, all of that on there, as well as all my conversions. Instagram and email are the best places to reach me. So definitely reach out there. Okay. Sewing. So I have one piece of cross stitch related sewing, and then I have another piece of other sewing. So this is my cross stitch related sewing. This is a project bag that I recently made for myself. And this one is, I've never done a patchwork bag before. Have I? I've done some patchwork, but never like a full patchwork. This is a mini charm pack, and it's the Blackbird fabrics. I thought the Blackbird fabrics were gorgeous, but I just cannot justify buying another quilt, like a quantity for a quilt, because I have multiple quilts kitted up and ready to go, and a lot of quilts that I haven't finished. So I wanted to play around with these, and I have found that mini charm packs are the best way to get to enjoy a fabric collection, and they're really cheap. And I just usually, like, if I'm doing an order at a quilting online store, I'll just like throw in a mini charm pack, just throw it in with the shipping, and it's fun. So that's what I did. This one is a little bit smaller width-wise than I had planned on making. I basically just miscounted and didn't put in the number of columns that I had planned. And by the time I realized that, I'd already started sewing it together. And so I just figured, what the heck. So this won't fit like a full-size page pattern, but like one of these like half page will go perfectly in here. So really happy with it. It's beautiful. And then I did binding. I did quilt it. It's just fusible fleece, so it's not super thick. I have a backing. That's just Joann's fabric. I feel like this looks like it's crooked, but this was just how the fabric was printed. I don't know. And then inside is another fabric from Joann's that I felt like kind of coordinated. So there is that. And I love it. I think it's so pretty. So, all right. And then my other piece of sewing is I did some sewing for my daughter. If you've been following me for a while, you know how much I love to do that. So this is a little top that I made for her. So cute. So this is leftover fabric. I bought some sheared, however you want to pronounce that, fabric from Joann's to make myself and her some dresses. And because it is adult length, the fabric I bought, when I hemmed it for her, we had a lot of fabric left over. So this I was basically able to make out of the hem, like the part I cut off for the hem. So it's originally a dress pattern. It's called the Girls Tank Dress, and it's a free pattern. I will try to find it and post it below. I think I found it on Pinterest, but yeah, it's a free pattern, and the pattern is only for the top, this like bodice portion. And then you just basically decide how long you want it and just make a big rectangle and gather it. So, I did a top instead of a dress because it did not have length enough for a dress. So I just, instead of making it to her like knees or whatever, I just did it like, so it'd be a little bit like of a tunic length top. And I will say the pattern, I feel like, is a little bit small, runs a little bit small. So I made her the largest size, which I think was an 8. And that was a little bit small as well. And I'm thinking I maybe should have double checked that seam allowances were included, because that might have been my error. But yeah, so it's lined. The bodice is fully lined just with some plain white cotton. The like bottom part is not lined. And then they have an option for either doing buttons all the way down or doing a like a gusset here. I hate doing gussets. I will do them. I don't like it. And I loved the idea of having it button all the way down. I think if this had been a dress, I would have just gone ahead and done the gusset because I wouldn't have wanted to do this many buttonholes. But for a shirt, I thought it was cute enough. So I went ahead and added the buttons. So there it is. And these are really pretty little flower buttons that I just had in my button stash, and I used up almost all the buttons I had in this style. So that was also really good. That was another reason to go ahead and do the buttons all the way down, is to get some buttons out of my stash. So very happy with it. She has not worn it in classic 5-year-old style. She was like super anxious for me to finish it. When is this gonna be done, mommy? I want to wear it. And then as soon as I said, it's done, you want to wear it today? She said no. And so I'm hoping that she will put it on before she grows out of it. She grows out of things at an alarming rate. So yeah, but she does really like it. I don't know. She's in a big like dress phase. So I knew that making her a shirt would be a little bit of a risk because she loves to wear dresses. But it is really pretty and it was fun to make. So I guess even if she doesn't wear it that much, it was still worth it because it's fun. So there we are. And it's meant to be kind of like baby doll oversized. So I'm hoping it works well for her. She prefers things that are stretchy, like any active child. So anyway, but I just really wanted to do something with this fabric and not let it languish. So it's beautiful. So that is that. I've been doing some knitting, but it's on projects where you can't really tell that I've knit anything. So I'm just save that up until it is like, you can really see my progress. And I need to put the binding on the quilt I showed you last week. I have not had time to do that, but I've not been at home. I've been on vacation. So, all right. That is pretty much everything I have. I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope you found some inspiration, and I hope y'all have a great couple weeks, and I hope you get lots of crafting time in.